Hi, my name is Phil. I live in the Netherlands and we had elections in November. And since that day, I have been trying to update you on all developments that were happening in our politics. And then I got ill. That was about last week. And it made me think because I set out to do something. And I have a feeling that I'm not getting there continuing the way I am doing now. So I am trying to start over again, explaining maybe even more clearly and maybe even more deeply about how our system functions, especially when it comes to creating a coalition which is needed in the parliament to get a majority in the parliament so the new cabinet can start governing. But to understand it fully and to understand what is really going on, I need to get deeper into it. It was quite different from a system like a two-party system in the States. What was I trying to set out to do? And that is to look at the times we are living in. We see far right coming up, not just here in the Netherlands. We see it in other countries, France for instance, and our map starts to color blue, which is not the same blue as you have in the States. Let me say that we are talking about far right here. At the same time, we have a war in Europe. 80 years ago, there was another war, 80 years of peace, and suddenly we have our hands full with a war. And then we have Trumpism in the States, and I think all these things are connected. And the threat of the Chinese to invade Taiwan. Why is there suddenly so much talk about war? And how do all these things connect? That is what I would like to find out, and what we can do about it before it gets out of hand. And I don't mean that it is the far right who is getting out of hand. That's not how you should interpret it. I think the whole system is somehow broken, and that started before far right ever became the largest, because they are only the largest since November. They are the result and not the cause. So there is far more going on than that. And it seems to me that with that there is some sort of withdrawal to our own problems, the problems of the Netherlands, and no longer globalization, no longer EU, no longer Ukraine, even no longer anything of that, but only our own things. And on the top of the list we find immigration. And I think that we will find out that there is not much we can do about it, even if we want to. But that's for another vlog. What I intend to do now is to start all over again. And with that I mean that I first want to look at our system and how it functions, especially looking at the coalition that needs to be formed to have a majority in the parliament. It has consequences. It is really different from a two-party system, and you can't compare those two. And if you want to compare it, you need to know how to compare it. And I will try to do that in a few short videos, and I will make one video out of that and I will pin it to the top of the page, and every time I am going to talk about something that is of influence on the timeline or is in the heart of the politics, I will add that, again, expand that same video. From that basis, I will try to investigate different things which are playing here in Dutch politics, because that is what I know, that is what I understand. I can't speak about other countries or start to speak more in general about what is happening in Europe. That's not the way. You will need to ask somebody else for that. That's not my expertise. My only expertise is that I'm Dutch and that I'm willing to investigate, and that I know how the Dutch politics are feeling, what you can expect. And what is also important to me is to look at what can we do about it. We can spread information really fast. We can do it in a negative way. We can do it in a positive way. But what needs to be done that prevents us from worse? And those causes I like to investigate here in the Netherlands. And it might be that you recognize them as well in your country and what is going on. And I will try to do that as best as I can, but I don't have a scientific title, so it is me, a Dutch woman, who wants to investigate this. And well, if you are interested, then you are, of course, welcome. Okay, this was it for me for today. It is a bit of a weird video. It is the start of things, and it's nothing. Actually, there is no real content here. It is a promise of content in my next vlogs. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.